and I'm here with my brother, Manny Long, from the National Nubian Nexus. Brother, you're welcome to the program.
Glad to be here again.
All right. Now we're going to speak a little bit about the Nubian Nexus, and I'm going to ask you a little bit where you stand, or where the organization stands when it comes to abortion.
Okay. Well, you know, the Nexus always tries to, one of our ideals is to follow the example and the legacy that the ancestors have left for us.
Yeah.
And you know, our culture has always been one of life, of celebrating life, of preserving life, of enhancing life, of educating life, and nurturing life, not of destroying it. That has never been a part of our culture. The only times when we did this is in self-defense, and even in those times, we tried to stay away from causing mass destruction, mass death, but rather would try to subdue rather than destroy. So being that has always been the case of our people, our culture, that we preserve life, there's certainly no need, not only no need, but no way that we could find that destroying life would be a positive thing.
And that's what the UNC stands for, that you have it on your neck as well.
It does. It's the unity of masculine and feminine producing life, and this is what we are about, producing life.
The continuation of life as well. All right, thanks a lot, brother. And then the second question is about adoption.
Yeah, well, I mean, the different, in the Western world, we have a lot of adoptions that go on, and the unfortunate aspect of it is a lot of the adoptions that would be taking place don't take place because there's just not enough homes. So what ends up happening is the vast majority of the people who are not being adopted are black children, and whose responsibility are these black children? In the Western world nations, the responsibility is taken on by those governments, which are primarily white people. Whereas it's felt that our children are our responsibility. And so if our children are being put up for adoption, it should be us who are taking care of them, and us who are adopted. But in the cases where we can't, and that we aren't, then they should definitely be at least learning their culture, at least being able to relate to their people, so that when they get out of that system, which is often a very confusing system, it's naturally a confusing system. But once they get out of that naturally confusing system, they should be they should be able to be familiar with their family, because we are their extended family. They're a part of us, and so we need to start taking responsibility for them. And it's something that we in the National Nubian Nexus are doing right now.
It's a little bit like they have in Africa, where it takes a village to raise a child, so that means the child belongs to everybody.
Exactly.
It's the responsibility of everybody to raise that child.
Exactly.
And take care of that, instead of adopting it somewhere in Europe.
And that's a major issue that we need to start looking at more frequently in our community is looking at responsibility. The Christians commonly say, okay, I am my brother's keeper. Well, if your brother's child is on the street, are you not going to help him? Because the reality is, we call each other brother every day, but do we treat each other like brothers? Do we treat each other like brothers and sisters? We need to take in our family into our homes.
Now we go to the food security. You know that we're suffering from high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart diseases due to some of the things that we consume. And I want you to talk a little bit about the food.
There is no culture without agriculture. It's a great African proverb, and it's a principle that the National Nubian Nexus follows itself. There is no culture without agriculture. We were the first agriculturists. We and from our agricultural practices and tradition, must food continue? Because right now we have severe issues with people trying to create things like self-terminating seeds and trying to patent life, trying to patent food and own certain crops and whatnot, and destroy. Even right now, like I was reading an article just yesterday about the American government, supplementing governments or supplementing crops rather on the African continent, and this is destroying the local crops, in favor of the foreign crops. And so these are serious issues that we need to control. And you gotta understand something. If you cannot feed yourself, this is the very what one of the defining principles of what makes a man is being able to feed himself and his family. That's providing. And if we cannot do that, then we cannot hold our heads high, or even exist for that matter, or fight a war or anything else. So it's extremely important for us to secure food.
Definitely. Now we have to talk a little bit quickly about prison.
Absolutely. The prison industrial complex that we have, primarily in the States, because this is primarily an American problem, is horrible. It's a deplorable situation where you have a new form of slavery, a so-called criminal slavery, where people are under the impression that because these people are criminals, they can work for free. And the reality is they are oftentimes unjustly thrown into prison. So, this is something that we need to get a handle on, get control of, and change for the future.
Thanks, brother. It's nice having you on the program, and we'll come back today and speak next time to speak about other stuff. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks.